In a quiet little animal village nestled between green hills and sunlit streams, there lived an old golden retriever named Ginger. His fur had faded with time, but his heart was brighter than ever. Ginger was known to all as the village's papa dog. He had no pups of his own, but every creature, big or small, felt safe around him. He cooked, cleaned, fixed leaky roofs with his nose, and gave the warmest head pats. But this year, Ginger wanted to do something truly special. It was Children's Day, and Ginger knew there were kittens in the village who had no one to celebrate it with. They were the quiet ones, tiny orphaned kittens with soft meows and shy eyes. Some lived near the riverbank. Others curled up in tree hollows. All of them had one thing in common. They had no family. But Ginger believed every kitten deserved joy. Early that morning, before the sun had even yawned over the hills, Ginger got to work. He rolled out coconut shells into splash bowls. He built water slides from banana leaves and smooth bamboo shoots. He tied colorful paper fish on strings that danced in the breeze. A bubble machine spun beside him, spitting out tiny shimmering orbs. Balloons, bright blues and pinks, bobbed happily around his yard. At the center of it all, a hand-painted wooden sign read, "Sweat Droplets Water Festival today. For the littlest one's paw prints, love, Papa Ginger." One by one, the kittens began to appear. First, a gray one peeked from behind a pot of sunflowers. Then a pair of ginger twins slinked along the garden wall. A fluffy white kitten with crooked ears climbed down a tree. They came slowly, paws hesitant, eyes wide with uncertainty. Ginger didn't rush them. He sat calmly, wagging his tail and humming a little tune, placing slices of watermelon on tiny leaf plates. Then he looked up with a kind smile and said softly, "Come on, little ones, it's your day." That was all they needed. What followed was magic. The kittens ran wild, laughing in their own way, chasing bubbles, sliding down water chutes, squealing as they landed in cool puddles. Ginger splashed alongside them, wearing a giant straw hat and squirting water from a tiny hose tied to a gourd. They leapt into splash pools, wrestled with floating foam toys, and bit into frozen mango sticks Ginger had made just for them. Music played from an old wooden radio. The entire garden shimmered with life. Laughter, light, love. But not every kitten joined in. A small, thin calico kitten sat at the edge of the garden, watching the others with big, uncertain eyes. She didn't move. She didn't smile. Ginger noticed right away. He slowly padded over and lowered himself to her level. "You don't have to be loud to belong," he said gently. "You're already part of this family." She blinked. Then, with the tiniest nod, she stepped forward and climbed onto his back. Ginger carried her across the garden, parading like a proud papa as all the kittens cheered. As the sun began to set, the festival drew to a sleepy end. The kittens, worn out from joy, curled up under parasols and hammocks made of leaves. Some lay beside Ginger, their small purrs vibrating against his fur. One had even stolen his floppy hat and was now snoring beneath it. Ginger looked around at his garden, messy, wet, covered in paw prints, and smiled. He had never felt so full. That night, under a blanket of stars, Ginger tucked each kitten into their beds of moss and cloth. A gentle breeze carried the scent of flowers and summer rain. Fireflies blinked in the trees. He looked up at the sky and whispered, "Where there's love, there's always family." And as the kittens dreamed of splashes, sunshine, and silly games, Papa Ginger sat quietly by the garden gate, watching over them, like he always had, like he always would.